So, today's topic is going to be Russia. Yeah? So we review my trip to Russia last year. Russia is a wonderful country, but also a country which is very difficult for Germans to visit. I mean, a German passport is one of the strongest passports in the world, and we can visit many countries without applying for a visa. But Russia is one of the few countries where you have to apply a visa, and where it's a little bit complicated because you can only go to the Russian embassy in your home country. While when you go to China, you can go to like the Hong Kong embassy or to Mongolia, where I applied for Chinese visa, or many other countries as well, which also is inconvenient, but it's even more inconvenient to go to Russia. So far, for me, Russia was the most difficult country to visit in terms of visa. But it was still okay, it was easy. I had to send my passport to an agency and I had to wait like a month, unless I pay extra for the express service. And I still paid like $100 or 100 euro, more than $100, to get a month visa for Russia, which I received a month later. Yeah, everything was fine, and then I entered Russia from Belarus, where I actually encountered also some problems because the border is not open. Yeah, like a Russian soldier took me off a train and had to put me into prison, or something like this. Anyway, this is going to be another story which I'm going to tell when I review my trip to Belarus. Now I want to talk about Russia. So anyway, I went from Belarus to St. Petersburg, which I finally accomplished, and then I had a wonderful time in St. Petersburg. St. Petersburg is just an amazing city. Yeah? St. Petersburg is has so much history, so much beautiful architecture. It's not really Russian, it's more European style. It really feels like being in a European city. And I really enjoyed everything about St. Petersburg. Yeah? Like the long days, same like we have here in Iceland, where I'm doing the video right now. You can see this waterfall behind me. It's just amazing, amazing landscapes. Here in Iceland, Russia also has nice landscapes, but not near St. Petersburg, mostly in Siberia. So yeah, first I've been to St. Petersburg, spent there about a week, had a wonderful time there. Then from St. Petersburg I went to Moscow, of course the capital. Lots of history, lots of stuff from the Soviet Union, and everything is cheap, yeah, like relatively cheap. Moscow is still the most expensive city in Russia, but you can drive Uber for just a few euros, yeah, which is convenient. Food is cheap, relatively cheap, yeah, so it's all okay. It's just quite expensive for Russia, but on the world, compared to the world, it's not too expensive. Also, I really like Russian food. Russian food is really delicious. I like buckwheat. They serve buckwheat everywhere. And borscht, the soup, very delicious. So, and people are really friendly. In St. Petersburg and Moscow, less than in other places. Siberia was just, these people were amazingly friendly. But first to Moscow. Unfortunately, Moscow, it was the first time in my life where I got a victim of pickpocket thief. And I was buying this hat, which you can see here in some of my photos. And when I got the change, it was about 70 euro in ruble. I forgot how much it was. I put it in my pocket, and later the day it was gone. It could have been fallen out, but it's very unlikely. Probably I got victim of a pickpocket because it was at the Red Square where lots of tourists are. I had my DSLR camera and was obviously a tourist. So it was the first time, a bad experience, but everything else was great. I really liked to see the history, the Red Square, the houses. The whole atmosphere is really magical. It's really amazing. So I wish I could go there again. Also was very lucky with the weather. Then I've been from Moscow to Kazan. Kazan is a mid-Russian city. They had a very beautiful mosque, and I just spent there I think 2 days. Yeah? So basically, I booked the train from St. Petersburg all the way to the Mongolian border. Yeah? So you have to do this a little bit in advance. I think 1 or 2 months are enough. You can get the Platz card, it's the cheapest sleeping car, and you will pay less than $200 for the whole journey. Yeah? So it was really cheap, also because the Russian currency is quite weak at the moment, which was last year in summer. so I could easily arrange everything. And it was very interesting to ride on these trains. I felt it was very comfortable, and it was the most comfortable sleeper trains I've ever traveled on. Yeah, if you compare to like India or China, these trains, they have real mattresses, get real linens, blankets, pillows. It's just perfect, and they always have hot water, cups, so you can make your own coffee, tea. It was just amazing, and you chat with the locals. People are friendly. Other travelers, I met an Australian guy, and Germans also. It was really nice. So anyway, I've been to Kazan. Yeah, I just spent I think 2 days because I had a tight schedule of 1 month. Russia is a big country. 1 month is quite short, so I had to really arrange and rush through the country. Yeah, Kazan, a short time. I found also couch surfing in every city. Really, that was rare. In every city in Russia except St. Petersburg and Moscow. But Airbnb is also not that expensive there. So, couchsurfing in my Kazan house, a lady, divorced lady with son, was very nice. She still texts me sometimes. Then I went to Ekaterinburg. It was very interesting because of the history. You have lots of places to see. Also, there was a holiday, so they had some weird Russian games where like the kids chasing after some kind of thing on the floor. I don't know, it's really hard to describe, but I show you a video you can see here which really shows these games. It was really fun to see all these games. Also had my 33rd birthday last year, which I celebrated in Ekaterinburg, and I had just a wonderful day. I had a wonderful host, which actually this hat I got from this host. Yeah, I just remember this now. She gave it to me for my birthday present. Oh, I have to text her. I actually forgot her name, but I have to check my couchsurfing record. She was also, I don't know, all of the hosts are really amazing. I wouldn't say she's the best, but she was one of the best. They're all amazing. She was so kind, it was so nice, and I really enjoyed it. So every city was just perfect. I was so happy. So I hang out with the other surfer who also stayed at her apartment. We've been sightseeing together to the museum, which shows the Russian history. Gorbachev, and I don't know what else. There were lots of stuff to see. Ekaterinburg was great. Then was a very difficult decision whether I want to stop in Novosibirsk or Krasnoyarsk, but I decided to stop in Krasnoyarsk because I didn't have enough time. So 3 more days Krasnoyarsk. Also found a couchsurfing house. Really friendly lady who was busy walking, and she also took me to this kind of event. There was a tent in the suburbs on like a lawn like this, and then inside the tent there was a party. Not just a normal party, very special party. First, they didn't serve alcohol. Russians are associated with drinking a lot of vodka and alcohol in general, but at this party there was no alcohol served. No alcohol, only tea. But people were really happy and dancing. So what did they do? They handed out instruments to the people, and one guy who was from the group, he gives the rhythm, and then everybody is like going on it, and it was really like being in trance. You had your tea, and then some girls were like dancing, and it was really like slow beats. It felt like trance, really. You felt like being drugged, like a trance party, but they didn't do drugs as far as I'm concerned. So it was really a very interesting experience. I think one of the most shocking experience of my whole journey. That's something which you would never expect to happen. Yeah, this was such a great experience. And but Krasnoyarsk itself, it also has nice nature. It was really nice like here basically. It's also beautiful. I didn't have waterfalls, but it was really nice to see the nature around the city. Big forests like the taiga. Like when you ride the train, you watch out of the window and you see all the trees. This truck is so noisy. You see all the trees. It's like endless. It's just amazing. You sit there, you watch out the window, and the train ride from Ekaterinburg to Krasnoyarsk was the longest train ride of my life, which took 36 hours. But I enjoyed it, and the time flight, and it was so comfortable. It's just great to stop. You went out to the station, see, watch a lot of window, have lots of tea, lots of coffee, chat. I was studying Chinese at the time also, and it's just very peaceful. I really enjoyed this ride. Yeah, and Krasnoyarsk was also a great city. And after Krasnoyarsk, I went to Irkutsk. Yeah, Irkutsk. Irkutsk itself was not too special. I think was still nice, but from all the cities, the least special city. But from Irkutsk, you could go out into the nature. So I took like a bus ride. It was super bumpy, which went to some kind of island. You have to take a ferry. It was, I forgot the price, but it wasn't expensive. And you go with the ferry to this island, really deserted, beautiful nature, rock formations. It's frozen in winter. Again, a very magical atmosphere, but I think it would be even better in winter when you see the photos when this whole lake is frozen. The Lake Irkutsk. What is the name? Forgot the name of the lake. Anyway, I'm really bad with names in general. Yeah, but this lake was really amazing. But I only spent a night there because I was very tight in schedule in Russia. Since if I could, I would love to do a 3 months or 2 month visa. But 1 month for whole Russia is really short. But you can't. Only as a business. They don't even issue more visas than more than 1 month. They do this, and if you get a double entry, it's still 30 days. Yeah, you won't get more time, so it doesn't make sense. Yes, that was great, and this was almost the last stop. After this, I just went to Ulan-Ude, where I basically didn't see anything besides head of. It's not Pushkin. The other guy, yeah, forgot the name. Yes, anyway, there's this big head, and that's it. That was basically the Russian journey, and it was so short. I would love to go again. Next time, go to Novosibirsk or other cities also on the way, and yeah, it's a wonderful experience. Like in Moscow, the subway, it's it's the most beautiful subway in the world. With all the statues, the nature, it's friendly people, and it really opened my mind that Russians are in fact much nicer than I expected, because the Russians you meet abroad are often not that nice. They're often drunk, rude, noisy, but they're not like this in Russia. In fact, the people in Belarus were more like this. They were still nice, but they were more drunk and rude compared to Russians. So my experience was really, really nice in Russia, and I'm very thankful to all the Russians, yeah, who hosted me, and it was really a life-changing experience. And yeah, after Russia I went to Mongolia, and yeah, you can watch my review of Mongolia, which was also a very nice country. Oh yeah, I miss those countries so much. But yeah, Iceland is also nice. I'm gonna miss it here as well. I'm gonna do an Iceland review later. Alright, thanks for watching, and I have to recharge my microphone because I didn't turn it off yesterday.